Welcome back to the Tracie Trendy Show, my lovelies. It's another day, it's another dollar, and it's another bad romance. As you may know, the 90-day fiance couple, Josh and Lily, are divorcing. But what you may not know is why. Why? Okay, you may have your suspicions, and she has hers too. In fact, she went on her social media, her TikTok, and she listed what was on her mind. And she says this is the first cup of tea that she's going to pour, and there's two more cups of tea, my loves. So, with no further ado, let's get into it, my loves. Let's start sipping. Lily goes to say the first problem they encountered was the limited sex. Okay, and they mentioned that on the tell all, but she said it happened so infrequently. On the show, she mentioned about 5 times, but she said she's not even sure it's even reached 10. Now, we all suspected on the tell-all that that happened in China, but apparently, according to Lily's recollection, she said that she lived in the United States before she went to China. So they got married in Vegas. Josh rented an apartment. And they also lived in China, and all that totaled to about 5 times. My loves, let's get into it because, Lily's a little long winded. So I'm going to just skip ahead here, okay? So, and she once asked him if he loved her body, and he became very upset, insisting that he loved everything about me. However, the lack of intimacy has still made me feel deeply insecure. She said he wouldn't even kiss, hug, or simply hold her. And this drained the confidence out of her body. She says she's almost 50 and she works hard to stay fit. She swims, she plays badminton, exercises, and just trying to keep a daily healthy lifestyle, good physique. But it seemed to just be, you know, forgotten. Josh wasn't looking at her. And she says, she knows she's an ordinary woman, like any other woman in the world. But he also criticized her and he gets very angry and he simply wants to vent his negative emotions. And she said, I can't always stay calm. My emotions have been influenced by him and I have gradually lost control. Whenever I become irritable, I still choose to embrace him, trying to ease our conflict. But he never takes the initiative to do anything similar to alleviate these tensions. She says, I can't be certain, but his repeated refusal to engage in sexual activity makes me question his sexual orientation. Could he be gay? I can't confirm it, but I do think he could certainly be labeled a narcissist. She said he once told me a woman he dated before who asked him for sex and he refused. And she called him gay, but he told me he denied it. All right. So moving along, in July this year, when I was in the United States with him and his daughter, yes, he has a daughter. So they have also gone back and forth, the United States in Vegas, then China, back to the United States in July. So she's around his daughter, and she made a joke about, well, Lily thought it was a joke about her dad being gay. And then she's starting to realize that it might be true. And she says, I seriously asked him if he was gay because the lack of intimacy was driving me into deep self doubt. And I want to resolve this issue. I told him that in today's society, everyone has the right to choose what they want, and there's no need to be afraid of coming out. He insisted he does not like men. Is he gay? Perhaps, but I can't be sure. Due to his narcissistic personality disorder, he has a need to control and torment those around him, deriving satisfaction from causing pain. Maybe he is gay, but because he finds it difficult to control another man, he shifts his focus to those he perceives as easier to control Asian women. He once angrily told me that he believes Asian women won't argue with their husbands and are too shy to talk about sex. What he doesn't realize is that Asian women, just like all women in the world, deserve the right to enjoy sexual relationships and to have equal status in their families, not just constantly yield and endure. So she goes on to say, a month into our marriage, that's when she noticed a change in his behavior. He became distant and cold and angry. He had mood swings. And this was the time she was in the United States. And she said she cooked good food for him. And she tried her best to take care of him. She paid for the groceries. She paid for the gas. And he told her that he spent all his money on the rent for the apartment that they were staying in. And he told me he had spent all his money renting an apartment for us and said he had previously mentioned being financially strained when we got together in December 2020. I didn't mind. I believe that love should transcend material concerns. So she's going on saying, hey, we have one piece of bread and, I'll give you the bigger piece. I'm small. I'll take the little piece. I wanted to make him the happiest man in the world, and I genuinely tried. His mother told me that his first love had deeply hurt him, which had made him overly sensitive. Hearing this, I became even more careful with his emotions, comforting him every time he got upset by hugging him and reassuring him, I love you and everything will be okay. But one day he suddenly erupted in rage, demanding that I transfer that house in China, into his name. I was terrified, so much so that I ran out of the apartment in my pajamas crying. And I found myself in the coffee room of the apartment complex, where a kind elderly gentleman asked me what was wrong. And she said she told him everything. And the man was like, hey, what's your number? I can help you. And she says, no, I don't want to cause any trouble. Anyway, she goes on to say that she wrote to his family, hoping to learn more about his past and what might have caused his behavior, but they either ignored my messages or responded with vague well wishes, praying for our happiness. I felt even more lost and alone. One day he got angry again, accusing me of sharing our wedding photos with someone else. I was bewildered. I hadn't sent our photos to anyone. Then I remembered. I had posted them on a Chinese app where I had a few followers. Before this incident, a Chinese woman had messaged me claiming to know Josh. She asked if I knew about a Vietnamese woman he had been living with. Shocked, I confronted him about it, but he dismissed her claim, saying not to trust strangers. He took my phone, deleted her messages, and blocked me. However, my intuition told me she might have been someone significant in his life. And later I found out she wasn't just any woman, she was his ex, and they had been living together while he was still seeing me. He had also been dating another Chinese woman simultaneously. The Vietnamese woman wasn't his late friend, as he claimed on the show, but someone he had moved out from right before I arrived in the USA. I was furious. So it appears my loves that Josh was not only two-timing Lily, he was three-timing her, juggling three women. When I confronted him, he deflected the blame, becoming angry once again. Over time, more unsettling details surfaced. The Chinese woman revealed that Josh owed her $3,000, which he dismissed as a gift. She also shared that he had been dishonest with her, just as he had been with me. When his parents visited us, I broke down and confided in his mother. Her response shocked me. If you don't want Josh to move to China, you can file for a divorce and annul the marriage since it's still new. I had never said I didn't want to move to China. In fact, I always been open to living wherever he wanted. Her words deeply hurt me. I felt utterly humiliated and conflicted. Divorce seemed like admitting failure to everyone back home, where my friends and family believed I was happily married in the USA. So there you have it, my loves. Josh mm-mm-mm, was three-timing Lily and juggling these Asian women out of their money. But not only that, family's going around saying he's gay. Ha ha ha, gay. And she has that sneaking suspicion too. Now, Lily says she's going to come tomorrow with some more tea. And then the third day will be the last day of the final cup of tea. And she's going to reveal all in her little real story of married life with Josh. Interesting. I'm like, how much more tea can you pour? You already wondering about this man' sexual orientation as well as his usation of women. Just wondering. What could it possibly be that she has to reveal, my loves? I guess we'll have to stay tuned to the next installment. In the meantime, drop a line, share your thoughts, as well as like the video. And always hit that notification bell and subscribe if you have not. It's all free, my loves. And I'll check you all out on the flip side.